Well, so what I have done here, I don't know if you had the chance to snoop around at all. I'm a little bit, and I'd always kind of had this idea, and frankly, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this school platform at all. Um, I have become kind of smitten with it
Ah,
because, unlike so many other social platforms, obviously they all have their place, but the difference on this between, say, like a LinkedIn itself is probably the next best, and Facebook group or whatever, is this one has really been orchestrated to be monetized, but the greater issue is it's been set up to really try to force a community to actually be a community.
oh,
So the chatting and what goes back and forth, it's also gamified. So the more that you like and post, and the admins like and post, then it kind of guarantees that the trolls go away. Because
that's
the only way
nice.
to score points, if you're gonna, I like this past month, I've a $50 gift card to the leaderboard winner. So I give them a Starbucks card or something. If you actually want to win it, then you actually have to participate in a good way, not in a crappy way.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. And then they've got built-in tools that, some of these groups are, you know, um, pay for, and some have got mastermind classes for thousands of dollars and stuff. But my goal really was, can I, we've all, up in the Twin Cities back in that day, I was in the ADCC club down here, started out, and the club kind of faltered. And now you've got, ad workers that's coming back, and that's great. But it was a way for, especially, I guess I call them climbers, to, how do I meet you? How do I they meet me? How do they meet, your
That's
husband? How do they
true.
meet, all that stuff? And they just would never have the opportunity unless I actually went and knocked on the door of, way back when, Kohnke Koenneke and Kohnke Henneken and BVK
Oh
and everybody
God.
else, right?
You said the word Kentucky.
I know.
The
Can't say
room
that anymore.
shook a little bit.
I know. Sorry. Um,
Right.
so I've often thought, and the funny thing is, just together, it's like we've taken very different paths than I suspect you ever would have thought that you were going to go. And I certainly have. Um, my favorite spot still is the 1984 spot, and I'm going to make Super Bowl ads and all the rest. And I have not made one Super Bowl ad, I must say. So, and right now I don't care. So
You get to the point where your goals and objectives change
they did change.
considerably.
You have kids is one, two is just, and maybe you feel this way. As I started to get the work that I could obtain and make a living from, it was much more from small business owners, B2B, B2C, but in smaller ways, and not unlike your book. Hey, I don't have the $1 zillion budget. What am I going to do? And the good news for me was, oh, well, here's five different options, Mr. Business Owner, of what I think actually might work.
Yep.
And I got really entrenched in, how do you just solve the problem? It was almost like a math equation. Tell me a little bit about your own, um, before we get to, 51 group. Tell me about your own background in, from, maybe even from, I interviewed Pat Laughlin, and he's got an interesting one because his dad, was the man. I didn't have that. I suspect you didn't have that.
No.
How did you even get to advertising? Is I saw UWM and military history in there. So where was that coming from?
Well, I people don't really know what they want to do, even when they're in college. They really don't know. But they know that they like some things. I had 210 credits, undergrad credits, because it took a while to find something I liked, and that happened to be art history.
Okay.
So I've never taken a business course. I was an inter arts major for a while, which was graphic design and theater. It's like I didn't think I could open up an art history store somewhere, but I just wanted to get out and I really liked it.
Right.
And then you figure out, okay, uh, honestly, you walk in UW. I am telling a story I've never told. You walk the halls at UWM and there are posters on the wall, and you go, who picked that typeface? Who picked that photo? That it was honest to God what got me in advertising.
Okay.
And since then, I've been an art director, I've been a production artist, I've been a writer, I've bought media, I've done PR, I owned agencies, and right now I probably have the best job of my life out of all those agency experiences of knowing, and they're all great. They all brought me something.
Yep.
Big agencies brought me something. Uh, the best job I've ever had is right now,
Fantastic.
which is I have a very small boutique.
Is it just
Uh,
the three of you?
there's just three of us, and
Yep.
then our network, which is huge. We have a
Sure.
huge network, obviously. And the way it's done now is there are the days of the big agency everybody knows are gone. Those they're hard to keep going for any number of reasons. And I applaud, you mentioned Pat Laughlin. I applaud him for hanging on. That agency is hanging on. And I worked there for 8 years.
Right.
They actually acquired my agency.
Right.
So I respect that they're hanging on because it's not easy to do.
It's a tough business.
And yeah, it's just not. And nowadays, the whole concept of marketing and creative is so different than what you and I grew up with. Because yes, our favorite ads are not ads today, they're ads from the past
Right.
that had this, they were conceptual and they were emotional and they were haunting. They've haunted us for decades. Those are my favorite ads,
Sure.
not the ones that are wallpaper today.
Well, and the way that the younger folks, I mean, just probably couldn't even imagine. I mean, when 1984 ad came on, I remember where I was, what I was doing. I'm
Mhm.
watching TV, and I'm thinking it's a trailer for a movie.
For a
And
movie.
then the chick comes on the screen, and it's like, that's Apple. And what is this? And in 60 seconds, the ad was over, and now
And it never ran again.
right, right, and now you don't get to see it. It's like I can't go to YouTube to, oh, let's check that out again. And
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
it's a mythic thing
Yeah, yeah. So
that,
take me back though to what's job one?
oh, I worked for the Marquette University newspaper, pasting it up.
Okay,
Like it came out twice a week. So I called
wax
myself a
or rubber cement?
rubber cement. I'm so
And
glad
now that
you asked that
we're
question.
saying that we sound like well, was it a buggy whip or
I'm so glad you asked that question because then I'm like, I'm pretty hot stuff. And I walked in and I said, yeah, I could do that. And then at my 1 month review, my boss said, we knew you couldn't do it, but you're starting to catch on. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
not firing me. And then I went to an actual agency as a production department, and they didn't have rubber cement. And I
okay.
went, oh my God, what do I,
Got to put it
so
the
they had
right
this
way in the waxer.
wax. You have to, it's like the wax machine, and I'm trying to use it and waxes on my hair and shit. And it was a pathetic. And then at my 1 month review, the guy said, you came in here, we pretty much knew you didn't know what you were doing. Uh, but we like you enough to keep you.
Sure.
Um,
And
and
in all seriousness, for the people who are starting out or they've got an internship or whatever, um, what do you think got them to like you, even though you didn't really know what the hell you were doing?
what That is the key to all employment in this business, because nobody wants to work with a jerk. Nobody wants to come in every day or be on a Zoom every day with someone who's not affable or can take a joke or make a joke, or someone who doesn't connect to popular culture, doesn't even know historical things. You got to be really smart to be in this business. And you mentioned my book before, and I think I haven't read it in a while. I probably should. In the preface,
I have to make an admission. I had not read it yet, but I bought it
oh,
on Amazon and it was supposed to ship to me yesterday so I could thumb through it really quickly and look really, really smart. And Amazon sent back that note that says it'll arrive on Wednesday. So uh,
oh my,
I've only read your back and some reviews.
okay. Well,
So if we're gonna plug you, and we're gonna plug you right now. Everybody should buy this book. I've read it cover to cover, and it's awesome. But
there
the
you go.
title is, give us that title.
All the other marketing books are crap,
All the other marketing books are crap.
and they are.
And
And they are.
how did you get to there? What was the key factor on writing, even writing it and wanting to?
You know, writing you gain so much knowledge over the course of in this business. I believe the people in this business, and it's in the preface, are the smartest people to walk to Earth. They're smarter than neuroscientists. They're smarter than people in universities. We are the smartest people on Earth. And the reason why we are is because we are exposed to so many different businesses over the course of time. I can tell you about hydraulic fueling components. I can tell you about sports marketing because I marketed for the Brewers. I can tell you about so many things and know about so much. And you take that and then you combine it with the ability to bring context to trend, surroundings, history, future. You got to be a futurist if you're in this business. You have to understand what is coming. You have to keep current with what is coming. And then the ability to have to do all that, all those data points and all those insights, to do it quickly. We're the smartest people in the world. I mean, you and I, it's like put us in a room. There should be a game show. I've always said this. Give us a half an hour. Give us each and three more of us the same topic. Write about beekeeping. I don't give you whatever. It
Right,
doesn't matter.
right.
Do a campaign for beekeeping.
There isn't a party and a topic that you can't go at least 2 or 3 minutes on
Yeah.
with some clarity.
Yes, with clarity and context. And I'm sorry, other people can't do that. You can't learn that in school, and you have to learn it over the course of time, doing what we do at the level that we do it. So it is positively adorable when I'm so sorry to, because this is about kids out of school and how do you get in this business and all this it's positively adorable when they get out of school and they're just I'm so smart, or they come out of ad school or whatever, and they learn about things, and then you're like, all right, here's your assignment. And then that's the point where those people actually begin their careers and start
Sure.
to learn,
Right.
because people like you and me can tear it up so easily and tell them why it doesn't work, or why it could be better, or how it could be better, or how to plus it, or how to extend it over different media channels, or how to deepen it to niche marketing. We know all this stuff. It's in our DNA. We don't have to learn it anymore. but they do.
you know,
So
when you're
it,
given we need it tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and like for sure. And it's 5:31 at the evening and you were looking to go to the, company softball game. It's like, son of a bitch.
it doesn't
Really?
happen that
You
way.
gave me the final and it's tomorrow morning, so I haven't studied. I guess we're gonna get busy fast, and to make
Mhm.
educated decisions to say, I mean, the danger for any art director, any copywriter is just a little more time. I can make it better. I swear I can make it better. But at some point in time, you have to recognize, no, and in fact, I'm a marker guy, was like, it's going to take me a little bit to flesh this thing out. So I have to decide. Here's what we're going with. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny. Um,
time
so
is,
so beyond, so that's
yeah.
great. But now when you as I looked at LinkedIn, it helped me out here. But first agent, when you're in essence in charge, is when early 90s. Is that true?
Yeah, I think we started Kohnke, the first Kohnke Koenneke in 1992, 1991, actually.
You're still a pup.
Yeah, I was like 35.
Yeah, but
I'm old.
you got chutzpah, and
I got chutzpah.
you got a pretty good partner.
And I was pregnant. I was pregnant when we did it too.
Right.
So, uh, I'm pregnant and my husband wants to
So
be
you
at
and
this.
Rich say, hey, let's just start an agency.
It was his idea. I actually didn't want to do it, but I didn't want him to fail.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, you guys, you and partner, ex-partner want to do this. Fine. I, at the time, was making 125 bucks an hour as a freelance writer. I gave that up. I was also like starting my second screenplay. I gave that up because I didn't want him to fail.
Sure.
Because he just didn't, the creative guys, I love creative guys, married one,
Yep.
love creative guys, but that doesn't run a business. And they need, they kind of get all the credit,
Yep.
but they need,
Were you the primary suit?
yes.
Okay.
I was the primary suit, the primary accountant, the primary media buyer, the
All the
primary
jobs they
everything
didn't
for
want
a
to do,
while.
bastards.
Yeah, why those guys were just like shooting a football around
Yeah.
and calling it work. So and it's fine. I understand the football. I get the football.
Yep.
Football's good. It it's kinesthetic. It
You
makes me
never came
think.
over for our Nerf basketball stuff that was going on above Hanson Dodge. You never came over. You could have been shooting 3-pointers, but
I
because
was
we had
too
18-foot
busy.
ceilings. We had 18-foot
I
ceilings.
Yeah, I was too busy to do that. I had kids. I had children.
Yeah.
You guys are doing that. I got
Oh,
shit to do. I got work to do. And when I suppose I don't know how many women you have that you are videotaping, but there's not a lot of us. I just wrote a blog. I don't
I'm
know if
here
you
to
read
tell
it.
you right now, you're the first.
Uh-huh.
I
And
wanted to make
try.
sure you were the first.
Oh, thank you. I mean, try to find some more because it's hard. It's hard to
Yeah,
find them. I just
absolutely.
wrote, I know you didn't read my book, even though you're recommending it.
Yep.
And I do encourage you to read it because that's my voice.
I'm going to do so because you and I, in terms, I think of what we're doing today, is very similar. We're probably swimming in similar waters. But my attitude,
Mm.
I used to be the cover your work kind of guy, and in the last 15 years, I just give it away.
Give
And
it away. I'll have another
basically
idea
telling,
tomorrow.
right, just
Yeah,
basically telling the owner, you like this idea, and the bet is, you know what? Why don't you just do it?
yeah,
And that's how it works.
exactly.
So
I used to tell people it's like, ooh, that's a really great process or protocol, or they should make that proprietary. And it's like, No fucking way. I'll have a better idea tomorrow. You
Right.
can have it.
You know how many are in the wastebasket right now, so
You
yeah,
could you kick ideas down the hall when you're as good as we are. There's just too many ideas, and they'll all work if you execute the do thing, is you execute to that and make them happen. And that is the collaboration and bravery that you need to create trust with a client with. Ideas are everywhere. We could run the world and solve every problem. And I do believe
perhaps.
that
At
ad
least we
people
we believe that.
can do that. I have the answer to everything.
I'll bet you do. I'll bet
And
you do.
and
You might make a terrible dictator, though. You might. I think the power would go to your head.
no, no,
Crushing.
I'm not, I don't, this is fun. I don't really have much of an ego. I'm not the self-promoter kind of person. I don't have much of an ego. I took that, in fact, I went like 2 years without saying the word I. You know that? That's
Yeah.
a that's a
Like
fun
for
fact
real?
most people. Yeah, like for
You really
real.
tried to bite your tongue.
I just it was in college and I just felt like, all right, that was a philosophical moment in time where
How did it go?
you you learn how to talk without it. I've since lost all those skills, but I could probably turn it on. I could. The way you would say that is it could probably be turned on.
Right.
So you would never hear that word from me. It
I like the
is,
notion of the we part of that instead of the me part of it, right? And
yes, it's
we've
we, it's
tried to
not
do that
me.
with our kids, and
Mhm.
just keep. And I'm a big Dale Carnegie. You just keep giving, 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 and
Yep,
you will get.
you will get back. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It'll come back. And I know I was going to make a big fucking point. Oh, sorry, I'm swearing on your
You know
pod.
what? It's a PG-13, maybe our community, so we're okay.
Okay, cool. So I can do
I think you get
one.
three F bombs, and then I have
Okay,
to
I
blacken the
think I
screen.
got two right now. So,
Right.
um, the book is full of swears too.
It's
Do you
colorful.
used actually people who swear have much higher statistical credibility than people who don't.
I've
So
read that.
so
So I
keep that in
started
mind.
swearing. I actually started. I was not a swearer at all as a kid, and it wasn't until I got into this business, and so I'm the art director, and I got paired up with a young British writer, and the Brits have such excellent swear words.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, and the way they would come out, and they're like, at the end of the day, I'm coming home to my wife. She's like, "What? Where did this come from?"
And
I had to
everything,
quickly move to my kids and my key. I'll ask you one quick question. To your kids when they're little, what's the swear that you would use?
I would never swear in front of
Right,
them. And
right.
then
So
when the
I used rats. I went,
rats,
I went peanuts on it.
oh,
Charlie
that's
Brown
funny.
swear.
We didn't have words, we just didn't do it. But by the time they got maybe fourth grade,
It came out.
it came out. We let it out. It's like they've never heard that before. Yeah, by the time they got there, that we let it
Where did
out.
you hear that?
Yeah, and I'm the worst of it. And my daughter is she's doing better now,
Good.
but she swore like a sailor for a really long time.
My kids have picked that up a little bit, so I'm trying to cut back, way back.
You're trying to cut it
I'm
back too.
trying.
Anyway, but I don't know if you read this. You said you didn't read my book, but
Yep.
I did write a guest blog for
I
George
read a
Tanning.
bunch of your blog posts, and
Oh, you did?
yes, I actually chortled in one spot when
And
you got
Turtle.
to, yes, when you got to the blog where you're talking about the guys out golfing. It was kind of the man haters
Uh-huh.
club kind of thing, and I get it. You're not a man hater, but this business has been run by the Don Drapers of the world for a long time.
Still
And
is.
now I meant to mark the passage and I didn't have it. Maybe you could even come up with it, but
Yeah, the passage was something to the effect of when you're golfing with them because clients golf and it's part of this world and you're doing best ball and you're up on the women's tee, and it's like, oh, you're up on the women's tee. Maybe we can use your shot. That just fills you up with a lot of fuck you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does.
That was,
As a woman.
it was the FU on that one, but I read to that part and I was like, it is, that is, it's genius coming from you. And as long as we're talking about it, and because I'm trying to gain women into this group, but it's only just beginning. So hopefully there will be a bunch. But tell me, my empathy level is not high, but I'm trying to get better. Um, I am a person who looks for merit at any way, and I would like to believe that I am colorblind, gender blind, anything blind. Just show me the work, and I'm going to decide yay or nay. So tell me from your side of the coin on coming up through the ranks in that, how does it work? How do you navigate? How now you're talking to the 27-year-old you, what's in store for her? Or what should she do to command the situation?
What she did at that point, um, she went client side for 2 years to learn how to be a marketing director. And I come off a little strong sometimes. In fact, I hear this a lot. It's like, you scare the shit out of me. I hear that a lot, which is kind of the Beth Dutton in me sometimes.
A little badge for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that sets the table. That sets the table. And then you get the respect that you deserve because people are listening.
But there's got to be a fine line between that respect and bitch, right?
Yes. Yes, there is.
Where is it?
So you got to back it up.
Yeah.
You have to back it up with the ability to um, say what you're going to say in an indisputable manner and overcome the objection that they're going to have before they have it. And then you kind of get an ability that at least gives you a fighting chance.
Sure.
And I will call it that, a fighting chance.
But did you
And
feel that if you're presenting an idea to a client or even within the agency, um, that because you're a woman, that it was going to be taken just a little under
hell yeah,
all the time?
hell yeah, all the time.
All the time.
I
That's
will
just a
even give
given.
you an instance that is a year old that because what my agency does is we'll white label our strategy for other agencies, and we'll help them with new business pitches, and we'll figure it out, and we'll do creative and concept work. And this was for an infant toddler it was a toddler uh, product,
Okay.
and I won't say what it was. And the agency at the last minute went, because these are all guys going, oh, we should maybe get some help. And it's like, okay, we'll help you. We redid their brief because it was stupid. We told them that the creative that they had concepted and were ready to present
Right.
was absolutely, positively, not just tone deaf, but completely off the mark. Uh, but they're all guys and they all had kids, so they thought that they could talk to women who were
Right.
dealing with a toddler. And we're all mothers at various uh, generational points. I mean, my people, my besties. I've got one with her baby just celebrated their first birthday. I have one with a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old.
You really do
And
have
you're
a lot
telling us what women think and how they, well, so the pitch happens,
You
we're
haven't seen my
integrated,
feminine side. You just haven't.
right. The pitch happens and we're part of the pitch. We're very good presenters, by the way. been there, done that, and do that very well. And I begged them. I absolutely fell on a sword and begged them, do not present this concept. Do not. Whatever you do, don't do it. Sure shit. They did it. And the client is like, what the hell? And
This
it
was
was,
this was after you had presented?
no, I didn't present it.
You hadn't
I
even gotten to your concept.
Well, no, I was presenting strategy, but I had seen their concepts and
Right.
they didn't follow our strategy at
Okay.
all.
Gotcha.
You know, they were just trying to have us retrofit into what they already
Right.
concepted, which they think happens a lot, and it
Just,
does, you know that.
just
You get a good
the
idea,
block
you
in the
get
brain
like,
of not moving.
you know, but I said, do not do this, please. This is like, and of course, everything went straight
Right.
to hell after that because it was the dumbest idea ever. And
Wow.
it just showed that they didn't understand.
Yeah.
They just didn't understand or connect with the target market. And it's like, no, we didn't get it. Nah, 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 nah.
So with the time that we've got left here in part, tell me, uh, obviously you had this eclectic mix of jobs,
Mhm.
which I will spend 20 seconds when I first got into agency, and I didn't, maybe the greatest superpower I had at the time. I was a really good artist and drawer and painter and all that kind of stuff, but more creative mind. And as soon as I got into agency environment, I just wanted to know about everything. I sat with a media planner, I sat with the copywriters. I sat with a receptionist. It's like, how does
Yeah,
it work? This is all cool. And asking the media planner with the big Arbitron books and whatnot, it's like, how do you even know that
learning.
these ads work? And at the time, it's kind of like, we don't really know how they work. We know we got these amount of impressions or this amount of car wheels went past that billboard, but I can't really tell you. And now today, obviously, we've got sensational metrics in certain areas, but there's still that, Super Bowl spot of like, all right, I'm going to have a billion eyeballs, but I don't know whether this is going to fly or not, right? And God knows how many are just complete disasters. Which I do have to
Right.
say that DoorDash campaign was a genius. Just do you know that one? I think
The one that's running now where it's football is about
no,
food.
that's excellent. But the DoorDash campaign from last year, where they did the Super Bowl spot, and to win every single item that was advertised on the Super Bowl, they ran a spot at the halftime where they put a code that was like a mile long, but if you stopped it and you TiVoed it, you could write it in there. And so one guy won like $500,000 worth of shit
Oh,
because if you advertised a car, you got the Lexus. So, I mean, because they wanted to say, hey, we can DoorDash any damn thing. And so to me as a concept is like, wow, that's brilliant. And it's
mhm.
fantastic. But anyway, um, tell me about that eclectic mix. And then for you being the person who was both suit and creative, and now today you've got your own hand in the teeth,
Strategy, yeah.
all of this stuff. How did that all come to be?
And I still write. I like to write. And if I could write all day long and never do another
That's your first love,
yeah, that's
or
my
do you
first
think it's
love.
your best skill,
I'm
or
sorry,
both?
what?
Is it your first love, or is it your best skill?
Both.
Okay.
I think I'm a pretty good writer and fast, and I think that's what I love too. So I'm a good strategist too. Am I a great one? Maybe. But
Well,
um
tell me about, you've worked on so many different brands. Tell me about brand strategy for people here who aren't specifically thinking,
what
I
is
am
brand
an art director,
strategy?
I am a copywriter, but I have a mind that thinks in the way that you've been describing.
Mhm.
How do they capitalize on that?
Back in the day, I would argue that the brand strategists were the copywriters back in the day, because they were the ones who would figure out the buckets of we could do this, we could do this, we could do this is possible. They figured all that out
Well, I learned
uh,
early on that the creative
early
director
on.
had the
Yeah,
job that you wanted.
yeah. And
And
that
the only
was,
guy who got that was the copywriter.
yeah, that
So
was the copywriter's job.
I had to write some copy so that I could be copywriter.
Um, brand strategy now and planning is its own discipline,
Right.
finally, thanks to the Brits, thanks to Ogilvy. And if you want to be a strategist and think that that's your bailiwick,
Yep.
um, because you enjoy research. I'm a very good researcher. I can find stuff out. I like hunting down facts. I'm good at that. Because you like that, because you can connect dots, because you have a basis in business strategy, because you also have a basis in creative strategy. I mean, you tend to be one of those people that have a lot of fingers in a lot of things. And if you want to be a strategist, there's plenty ways to do that. Ogilvy runs a very free, God, I forgot what it's called. It's usually in October, but it's like 2 days of the best strategy people talking about strategy you'll ever find, and it's just amazing, and you're just riveted if you're like me for 2 days. And people don't even know about it. There's lots of strategy groups now. You just got to learn. It's about learning. You have to know your stuff.
Sure.
And there's nothing that is more important for confidence than knowing your stuff,
Yeah.
walking in the door. If you know your stuff walking in the door, you're confident. If you're not confident, everybody knows you don't know your stuff.
Sure.
There's the symbiotic relationship. So know your stuff.
Right. Well,
And
when you learned in the pitch, if I just ask a few really good questions, that's enough. It proves I know something here. Uh,
yeah,
and back to the idea of a ADCC kind of club, and I want it to be more than that. I called it the ad agency because I really wanted to all of those pieces of the puzzle to come together. And the structure of ad agencies today, if you can even call them agencies, is you better be wearing a bunch of hats. You better be able to, jump in different places. Certainly that the old triumvirate of copyright, art director, creative director, those parts are so interchangeable today.
today. And they weren't back in the
They weren't.
day.
I
It
I,
was
I
very
was like
hard.
I was like a gorilla at the zoo. They would slide the copy lines under the door and like make it look good. I'm
Yep.
like, that's
Back in
not
the
right.
day. Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
No,
Back in the day, it was stay in your lane.
yeah,
And you were very fortunate if you were one of those people who was a good enough generalist that could try something new and prove it. Because yes, it is about the work. It is about the idea in the end. But I can tell you since I'm the only woman you have talked to, it is still really hard to
yeah,
be a woman in this business. You are invisible. If there was a word for I don't hear you that was equal to invisible, nobody hears you. You speak up and make a comment, and sure as shit, 2 minutes later, some guy is going to say the same thing and get the credit for it. Those things are real.
okay,
They are absolutely real, and they're part of culture, and it's getting better. And at least, like Mike, you recognize that the work is the work is the work, no matter who does it.
right.
But it is still very hard out there. And one of the reasons that I started agencies was so I could be in my own biosphere of and be
Right.
protected.
These are the
So
people you want to be with. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
and then I
we're
was
both at the level now where, I mean, I can't speak for you, but I was a prostitute for the longest time. And, only in recent times where things have, the fiscal load is much easier. It's like, I don't want to work with those people anymore. We're going to do this. It's
yep.
enjoyable. And I love coming into work every single day.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah, I
ask
don't,
one last question for you though,
go
which
ahead.
is, so if there was, uh, I realize you guys are running basically sort of a remote or virtual agency, but, um, so here is a young guy or gal, and they want to work with you. They're 27, they've got some experience, they've got a book of some kind. Um, what should they do? What would impress you? What do you want to see?
Well, they better do their homework to know who we are. Item one, so many people don't do their homework. There's a lot of it's like, hey, if you need this, it's like lead gen. It's like I
Yeah,
get 10 of those a day. Uh, but if they want to really work with us, do your homework. Know, uh, paint, say back to us what we are saying so we know that you read it.
yeah,
And our site particularly has a lot of content on it. So read the site and then send the book.
right.
We do,
How much do you want to,
use-
how do you want to see? Do you want to just see a site? Do you actually want to see PDFs? Do you want, what do you want?
yeah,
Does it matter?
most everybody has a site now. So
Just a
what's the,
Wix site? Is it just a Wix site enough?
yeah, it's enough. It truly is enough. Put your stuff on a site.
If I had an Instagram page and I had my portfolio there, is it enough? Or would you feel like they hadn't gone to the next step?
I
Yes,
would
okay. So
figure,
I got my
I
answer.
got your answer.
Be a professional.
Yeah.
My thing
Instagram
early
site's
on
not
was
enough.
you want to have a title, you want a business card, then make up a damn business card and get Vistaprint to print it. And guess what? I'm whatever it says I am, right?
We, s-
Congratulations, you're in business.
yeah,
Now what?
I still don't have a business card. I haven't had a business card in like 10 years,
I know. I've
but
got a
just so you know,
I've got a few in a box if you'd like a couple. They're like collector's items.
yeah, you write your name on them
That's
and
right. That's right. You gotta
stuff.
look me up. You know,
Yeah, I don't have a
okay.
business card.
Any last words of great wisdom for my troops here?
Your troops here, um,
That's terrible.
don't
That's terrible sentence structure, by the way. But
don't go into advertising. You have to love this. You have to be ADD.
don't dabble.
You can't dabble. You have to somehow want the insanity that this business is. It has always been that way. It always will be that way. And you gotta feed off of it. Because if you don't feed off of it, it's not for you. You're gonna die. You're gonna crash and burn. It's so don't do it. Because it's not that fun if you don't love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't make that much money. You make money
Well,
elsewhere.
there you go. Hey, I appreciate it. We've gone way over, but it's all good stuff. And we'll see where this goes. But I wish you well and heal
Thank you.
soon. And Lord help you. Three strikes. Let's not get to the third strike.
I guess
Hit a homer on this one.
I know, I know.
I
I
know.
want to walk. Walking.
Yeah,
Wow, what a
just
concept.
down. All right. Take care, Denise. Great to
Thank
talk
you.
to you.
Good to
Take
see
care.
you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.